welcome back everybody to xable.com. Josh Raketic, Mike Gilbo alongside me here. It's the Super G here at the National Veterans Wheelchair Games, presented by UPS and Toyota. It's the 31st Annual National Veterans Wheelchair Games, co-presented by Paralyzed Veterans of America and the Department of Veterans Affairs. We have our first person going up for the course. It is Michael Thomas, a Milwaukee native, U.S. Army. And Mike, this is going to be a very difficult course.
Oh yeah, this course is real tough, and what they do right now, the officials kind of get a feel for it. They get him touching down, see if he can reach and catch himself and push himself up, and they check where his wheelie balance is and stuff, because you don't want the official to touch you unless he has to, because it's a 5-second penalty.
Right.
So they want to have an idea. They're going to let you do as much as you can, and it's just safety. They're going to touch you if they think they have to.
And this is Mike's first Super G competition. He is off. Went down the side, had a pretty good start there. He's now going to go in and out of the cones just like a normal weave there. He's going to go behind. They got to do a wheelie here, Mike, above those orange cones.
Yep.
He is up on his back wheels doing the wheelie. Couple knocked down there. I believe it's a second per cone there. We're going to have to get somebody to let us know how many cones were actually knocked down there to know how many seconds are going to be knocked off his score. Going through the door, very careful here, Mike, because you don't want to knock anything off the top half.
No, they're actually being generous this year because the cones are all right side up. In the past, they've turned some of those 5-second cones on top of the door upside down, so they fall even easier.
Michael made it without knocking down any of the green cones, and he is now coming back. He's going to turn the wheelchair around and go backwards, and you cannot touch these cones either, or that will be another second penalty. Precision here came close. I don't think he knocked anything. He did touch that one.
Yep, they'll knock him over. So he has a official knocks it over, says he thinks he touched it, and he kicks it over.
And one of the more sicker parts of this course, I think, is this coming up right here. There's a very slick part in the middle of that you got to really push yourself up there. You see Michael struggling. That's a really difficult obstacle that you have to face there over top of that.
Yeah, they got really devious there. Not only are you climbing an incline, but they got a camber sliding downhill, and there's a piece of vinyl, and they put dishwashing detergent and soap on it before every competitor.
He knocked down one of the tennis balls. That's going to be another second. He's going to have to turn around now and go backwards. A lot of backwards obstacles here on this Super G course. He's going to go to the teeter-totter now. I think one of the more easier obstacles in the course. But he's going to get up there. Now through the steps. He's getting a lot of support here from this crowd. One of the largest crowds you're going to see here at the entire National Veterans Wheelchair Games. He's past the stairs. He's still making decent time here. He does still have...
Now here's a thing that'll really get your arms pumping, you know.
How difficult is this, Mike?
This is a workout. Yeah, it's pure arm strength, and the level of disability can make a big difference. Some of these lower levels, and this is one of the only events where you don't have class going against class. You have class 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s. So some of them physically have more ability than others, so they have a little advantage. And in something like this, somebody has trunk muscles and stuff, helps them a lot. They can hold their wheelie and push it through. But
I'd have to say a pretty darn good job getting through that. He made that in a good about 10-15 seconds. That was not a bad time. We'll have to see how well...
Now they're going to make him go up a hill backwards instead of forward, you know? There's a lot of twisting course. Every year they try to get a little more devious and make it harder. And they raise the degree of difficulty. I think every class in slalom throughout the week to get to this point was the hardest it's ever been.
Right. Yeah, a little bit of difficulty there. As going backwards, that's a little bit more difficult to maneuver and steer.
And you're blind. We don't have rear view mirrors. You're blind back there, you know?
He's going to have to go. This is one that you were telling me about earlier that is really difficult with that on a slope, and you have to get your wheels at a certain point there, too.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're on a camera once you get up. You have to clear that line, but then you have to come across and get your casters to the other line before you can come down. So you really have to carry it very high and almost come back downhill, because trying to go straight across, it wants to tip you over sideways because one wheel is so high compared to the other.
And he had a little bit of trouble there, but he got through it there. Still, Michael making a good time. He's going to set the course time. It's going to be the time to beat. It's going to be the benchmark for everybody here. Another door that you're going to have to go through. You got to be careful with the cones.
And they got the hills on the doors now too. You got to line up good because you've come out and missed that. You're all right. This is a tricky one.
A mattress.
This is a tricky one. See, he caught himself. They didn't have to touch him. That's the advantage. Some of the lower levels, when they go forward, they can't get up. They have to get picked up. So that's where somebody of a higher class has a little bit of an advantage over the lower class.
And look at this one. He did this one with ease. The second, he did go backwards there a little bit. But on that first map, on the first one, he had a lot of trouble getting up on the hill. But on this second one, he did it with ease.
Yeah. He, realized to stop, take a breath, and get a run at it,
At this point, I mean, we're now past the halfway mark.
Oh, yeah. Your arms are smoking and burning,
He's going to take the pass. No, he didn't. He must.
He's got to redo an obstacle. If you do not finish an obstacle properly, you can take any route. You don't have to go back through the course. You can take any route back to that obstacle, but then you have to complete that obstacle and everything after it again. So he just added a lot of time to himself, but he knows where he made his mistakes here. I mean, he might be able to correct it. He did not lean forward enough here. Going backwards, you really need to lean forward.
He did close the door this time and did not knock down any of the cones, but he's going to have to come back up on the little vert ramp again here. Let's see how he does it this time. And this one's the more difficult one.
That's where he needs to lean right forward so he's not leaning back when he goes down. Forward, Mikey, forward. There, see how he got it better that time,
Great job there by the Milwaukee native. Now you're going to have to go through the ladder. At this point, your arms just burning.
Especially when you had to do the air mattress and the incline twice. His arms are smoking right now.
See how he's going to have to do that. That's going to be difficult. A lot of wiggling and a lot of trying to lift that front part of the chair up to try to get it forward. That way you're back.
You can see at this point, sometimes he tries to bunny hop and pull his wheel and jump the chair rather than push it. He's at a little bit of a disadvantage having the skinny wheels. You'll see other competitors have a lot fatter wheels. That gives you a little bit more advantage in some of these, like the gravel pit obstacle, this obstacle. You got a little more area and grab.
How would you tackle the ladder there?
I would not have my skinny tires on. And basically, the key to that is trying to stay square. He's really in trouble right now because he didn't go square, and getting one wheel at a time to go is hard. You really need to keep the front end up and go both wheels at a time over.
And almost a little bit of momentum going in there as well.
Yeah. Once you get the, that's harder than anything I've done. We've done the ladder with the rungs, but those are like 2x4s.
And that's almost a really disadvantage of having it right after this vert obstacle because you're going down backwards. You cannot get the momentum to take you forward there. And that's where it looks like he's struggling here. He's really not making any time here. And you got to remember from before, he had a lot of cones there on the wheelie as well as over here.
As well, and backtracking and doing 3 obstacles multiple times. Yeah, Mike, he did get it squared up now.
And he is squared up. That should make it a lot easier for Michael to take over this. And this is kind of where a veteran would do a little bit better in the Super G. This is only his first crack at this. A tough course like this that you said might be the most difficult Super G course ever.
Yeah. He's getting them one at a time now. He gets that front wheel up and powers over. So.
How big is that going to be for people like Laura Schlonger and also Pete Moore, who's in here? Pete Moore, this is going to be his 6th Super G opportunity, and for Laura, it's going to be her 5th.
Yeah. Well, Laura Schlonger is an amazing athlete. She makes it look like she's going for a stroll in the park. Yet when you look at her time, she's like smoking, and she makes it effortless. With Peter Moore being a Class 2, this is very challenging to him. He doesn't have the physical ability of some of his competition, so he's going to be working hard. But just accomplishing it and doing it, you feel like you can conquer the world. Because by the time you get to the end of this, believe me, your guns there are smoking.
We have to stay tuned for Laura. She's going to be 11th. That's next to last. So pretty much everyone will have gone. For Laura, she'll know what kind of time she's going to need to get the gold here. It almost looked like Michael got a little bit more, a second wind almost there after he got through.
He had a little, for him it was an easier section, and even there he's, with the skinny wheels, he's making really good time through the gravel pit. That's sand, then mulch, and then gravel.
And he got through that like it was nothing. That was, I kind of liked his form there. He kind of tilted back a little bit almost on the wheelie there and went 2 wheels.
Here's another one like the red one that hung him up. It's not quite as difficult, but it's the same object. You got to get that wheelie up and climb it, and then you just got to climb up. And if you can keep the wheelie up and keep going and not catch him, you can run all of those together. Just keep seeing. You got like 3 or 4 in a row there.
The difficult thing
one
with
more
this
push,
year,
will be out. Yep.
It's on an incline this year as well.
Yeah, I did it on a flat. He did on an incline. Yeah. Oh yeah, every year they try to toughen it up, and they've really outdone themselves this year.
Frontward, backward here for Michael. He's going to go backward now after spin it back around and go forward. And he has done a really good job.
Yeah.
Only 1 or 2 obstacles.
Yeah,
Really
I mean, he's got a pretty clean run, and he realized he made a mistake and went back and corrected it. Had he not gone back and closed that door, he'd have been a DQ after all that work.
Spins around, going to have to go backwards now towards the end of this course.
And the thing is, at this point, not only is your body adrenaline pumped and fired up, and the lactose acid is up, and you're exhausted, you still got to get a clean run. You got to remember everything you got to do. You can't forget to salute the flag or whatever they got, because any missed event is a DQ and you're done, no matter how hard you worked and no matter how fast you went.
Having a little bit of difficulty now trying to climb the stairs. Once
Yeah,
he climbs
the
stairs,
last thing at the end, after you've killed all this stuff, let's go up some stairs now. Going down is not that bad. Going up is a really tough thing to do.
climb the stairs and then raise the flag, salute the flag, and then, you know, it's home free. You're down a hill and you're out.
Well, you know, you can't really relax. Going down those hills, if you don't lean back and catch the front end, you'll be on your face. So, I mean, there's never really any relaxing. You're going to be thinking right till you finish.
I think Michael had the same problem he did a little bit earlier on the ladder. He seemed like he got tilted sideways on the steps a little bit. He straightened up. He's almost up there to the top now. Still trying to get through is Michael Thomas, the Milwaukee native. Again, in his first Super G, almost up there. The crowd completely behind him. A great crowd here today in the convention center.
This is definitely one of the most popular spectator sports. You know, it's just to say you may have one disability, but you have many abilities. And these guys just show how much can really be done, even though you're supposedly disabled.
And Michael now raising the flag.
Tie it off.
Tie it off. And then something that I think is going to get a big round of applause from everybody. A
Good
big
shot,
salute.
yep.
And this one's almost like a gymnast bar there. There's two put together. They're not, they're far enough where the
There's
wheels
a
are
space
on there,
between them. You have to, they used to have one with two 4x4s and a hole in the middle, and you had to wheelie through, because if your front end came down, you were going right through.
There goes Michael, and he is going to
And he's done.
A great job there by Michael Thomas, picking things off in the Super G. And the look on his face seems like he's a little bit disappointed with the run. But I'm sure he's very proud of being able to complete, and I'm also sure that he's quite exhausted here at this point.
Oh yeah. Hey, we always get frustrated with ourselves. We expect the most, and you know, when you get
like everybody else.
Yeah, he's competitive as they come, and I'm sure he's mad at himself that he had to go around and redo that. Just made it harder on him, and you know, he knows he's really not going to be that competitive, having done that much extra time, getting hung up a little bit, and having to repeat. He knows he's not going to be competitive, but just getting it done is amazing.
If you need the time, you got it.
And it was the single. It was his first games. We're going to have another first games here as well.
Time.
It'll be Samuel Hudson of the U.S. Army, Flint, Texas, a native there. Again, his first games, and it's his first Super G course, too.
Well, that's pretty impressive as a novice making the Super G. So, but he's from Texas. They do a lot of pushing around outside, like I said.
Everything's made in Texas.
Training outside, obstacles, gravel, trash, potholes, tree roots, and you know, Texas, you know, is not known for its accessibility. I'm sure some of the towns are great. We've been to San Antonio and others. But if you're working out in the farm and you get hills and tree roots and you're pushing around out in that stuff, you're going to be in shape and be able to push your chair. So for a first timer, I'm sure, to even get here, he's shown some incredible chair skills already. So we might have a new up-and-comer that might, you know, just might kick some of those old champs to the curb, you know.
And I think
you know, the young blood does come in here and humble us old guys at a
It probably won't be his first games. I've seen a lot of veterans here whose first games. I talked to one last night, and I asked him, "Were you going to go to Richmond next year?" He goes, "Heck, yes, I am. Of course, I will."
Yeah.
A lot of the first timers really love it. And we have Michael's time, 12:31.4. That's going to set the benchmark. I'm going to ask you this. You told me off camera. Now tell me on camera. What do you think is going to be the time that wins this?
I think a time that'll win this will be under 10 minutes and probably in the 9s. Somebody gets under the 9s in this course, I tip my hat to him because this is incredible. I mean, he did a very strong run, struggled a little bit, but he didn't even break 10 minutes. And, you know, in my slalom, from 1st to 5th, there was only a minute difference. So, I mean, these guys, when they run clean runs, they're very close to each other.
And look at Hudson. A great start, knocking into the wheelie cones over. He's going through the door now. It's Josh Raketic, Mike Gilbo here on xable.com. It's the Super G, presented by UPS and Toyota. 31st Annual National Veterans Wheelchair Games, co-presented by Paralyzed Veterans of America and the Department of Veterans Affairs. Hudson had a little bit of trouble going down off of shutting the door there, but he is recovered now, going backwards here through the cones.
Yeah, he kind of dropped the front end too quick, caught the kick plate, and went over forward. I think they had to touch him on that one.
Hudson now will go, and again, one of the more difficult obstacles here this course is that slick pattern, but look at him just muscle through it. A great job there from Hudson.
Yeah, he had some good momentum. It didn't slow him down. He angled it. He angled it perfectly and carried his speed. So
got really well under the tennis balls, didn't touch any of them. So far, Hudson might be setting the course time here as going second.
Yeah. Well, he's still got some of the tougher obstacles. They're just starting to warm his arms up now.
Look at him go right over the tier.
Oh, yeah.
Through the stairs. Unbelievable. A great job here. Let's see how he goes through this.
Oh, yeah. He's going through that stuff like it's flat ground almost.
Smith did a great job. Excuse me, it wasn't Smith, it was Thomas who did a great job on this uneven board. But Hudson making it look like a walk in the park, Mike.
Yeah, he is really set. He is setting a new bar, there's no doubt.
Oh, he touched a couple cones.
Oh, he got a few.
So 3 seconds will be knocked off there.
Mike, I'm going to have Martin Truex Jr. here soon.
And he's
so
gonna
when
go
he
up
shows
and
up, I'm
down,
just going to turn your mic off,
down,
take it off with you, and give it to him. And then as soon as
down
we're
again.
done, I'll put it
He will
back on
turn
you.
the chair back around and have another tough obstacle come up. He's going to get those wheels above the tape, hit another cone there.
Oh, he got up there.
That's the first time he did get over, so he's going to move on to the door. No, he didn't.
He's got to do it again. After you go over the line, you got to come all the way to the end and get your casters over the other one. See the vertical end?
Right?
You got to go up over, and then on the left end, we can't really see. I see from here. There's another line going up the ramp. He has to bring his casters past that line before he can turn and come down. And the first time he didn't make it, that's why he had to go around again. But at least he caught himself and did it, rather than run the whole course and figure it out and go back later.
See if he can get it this time. He's got one. I think
Yeah,
he's got two.
he got it. They'll tell him good once he's there.
He did get both. Now going on to the second door. He opens. If you remember, Thomas did not close it on the first time through. Let's see if he can get
Well,
it.
it's tough to hold yourself on the hill and close it. Good job.
Nice job.
But he lost 10 seconds in cones, yeah.
Oh, lost 2 green cones, so that is going to be 10
But his
seconds.
time is fast, you know? All right, now, can you remember to lean forward here?
I think he caught
He
himself
saved
there.
himself. They didn't touch him, yep.
Now to the ladder.
We'll see how he makes this one. This is where Mike lost a lot of time here. And again, he's buried in, but he's staying square, but he's having a hard time. There we
It
go.
looks like he has the thicker tires as well, Mike.
Yeah, they're a little bit thicker.
Oh, he's got his front part there caught. There he
Oh,
goes.
he's loose.
He's going to go up and down here. It's a little bit of a drop off. Once that teeter goes, though, oh, it looks like he got stuck, but he's okay. Continues to go through. A second
Now,
board is
another
uneven.
board, yeah. He ought to rip this one because it's not 2x4s, it's only 1x4s. Basically, he's going over that like a little bit of cobblestone.
He's got a little bit of shag carpet there, but he gets past that really easily, too. He's got the sand.
Now we get the sand, mulch, and gravel, but
It looks like he caught himself.
yeah, again, they didn't touch him. I believe he did that all by himself.
A great run here in his first game's first Super G. Samuel Hudson of Flint, Texas. Here comes
Now
another
that
ladder.
tricky ladder. The dowel setup, that can be a tricky one, but he showed pretty good control with holding those wheels up and carrying it. And look at him right over there.
Unbelievable job. Frontwards and now backwards he's going to have to go.
Make sure you go backwards, yep. And they're pretty good about that. They'll say, read the course if you make a mistake, so you can think about it and figure out, did I do something wrong or not, you know? They can't tell you what to do, but they will say, read the course.
And he's going to get through backwards. Got to be skinny here in this situation. Those cones are pretty close together.
It's a good place to make up some time now. Yeah, he's going to come out and go backwards. See, he almost forgot to turn around, but he caught himself.
Yep, he does. He
Did
does
his
do the spin.
360, now go backwards.
A good time here, I would have to say, for Hudson. We're going to have to wait for the official results. Still a couple cones knocked down here and there.
Not a perfectly clean run, and a couple times he caught himself, had to reread the course, and that'll cost him a little. And if someone runs it as good as him and totally clean, they might nudge him out. But he has definitely set a new bar, I believe, here.
And now to raise the flag, he does, and now to tie it off and the salute here coming towards the stretch run. The second competitor here in the Super G, and we'll do the salute. Almost forgot that.
Almost forgot it. That's what I say. You are physically exhausted and mentally too. You
I can believe it.
You got to be thinking all the way to the end, every little thing. You can forget the 360.
And the extra push there, and he looks exhausted, but a great job there from Samuel Hudson of Flint, Texas. A huge smile on his face, Mike.
I'm exhausted watching, yeah, and you should be proud. First time here, qualified for the Super G, and then made it look easy.
A great job there.
Oh yeah, I think we
for
got a
Hudson.
10-minute time here for sure.
We're going to have to wait for the official time. And just again, still just looking over there at Samuel, a huge smile on his face, and that puts a smile on my face too, because I know how difficult that thing is. I don't want to do it. I don't think I'd make it.
No, I couldn't make this one. That's why they don't allow us quadriplegics completing the Super G. It would kind of be unsafe. I'm trying to push for a Super Q, where we do our course and then maybe use not a Super G course, but like the course that the Class 2s and 3s compete on.
Right.
Let us run that as our Super Q, you know, our
like
little
it.
slalom course on steroids. Because, you know, quadriplegics, it would be unsafe to even attempt to put us out here to do this, you know.
I like that
In
idea.
everyday life, at this point, somebody asks, would you need a hand? And I would say, yes, please.
We're going to have the third competitor here of the afternoon. It's going to be Rick Messer of the U.S. Army. He's from Phoenix City, Alabama. It is his first Super G. Getting the results here from Hudson, and an
my
unbelievable
God.
time. 6
Wow,
minutes,
way under.
17 seconds, 0.3. That is an unbelievable time.
I'll tell you, when you get hitting the regular slalom, oh, Martin's here.
Mike's
in
going
the
to take,
house.
Martin is in the house. We're going to take a break here from Mike as we're going to get ready for Rick Messer to stick down. I teased it there at the beginning for you. Martin Truex Jr. is going to join me here, 4xable.com.
No, I didn't hear it. What was this time?
And he's getting mic'd up now. 6 minutes, 17 seconds for Samuel Hudson.
6 minutes, 6:17, sir.
Yeah, you did a hell of a job, Slim. Nice job.
What are you doing at the table?
I told him
Yeah,
Texas
he's
was
sponsored
going
by
to do good.
Yeah.
And Rick Messer is getting ready to get underway. And joining me now is Martin Truex Jr. of Toyota. Martin, thanks for joining me here today.
Hey, it's great to be here. I'm excited.
And what do you think of the Super G course?
It's unbelievable, man. I mean, these guys make it look so easy. I probably couldn't even get through the first obstacle.
But what about your car? Do you think you can do it in the car?
Absolutely. Just hammer the gas, hope for the best.
Martin, is this your first time getting to check out the National Veterans Wheelchair Games?
Yeah, this is my first time. I've got a great relationship with the PVA that I started this year, and I'm here on behalf of them to meet a lot of these guys and cheer them on in their competition, see how they do it. It's it's really inspiring to be here and see all these guys and the effort they put into this, and just a really neat event.
Well, let's take a look at Rick here, who's going for an opportunity. The first time of the day was 12:31.4, and then Samuel Hudson, who just absolutely obliterated that time at 6 minutes, 17 seconds. Martin, you have him going through something that is with some dishwasher liquid on that, and it's a really slick track there.
It looks like it. It looks slick, and it looks hard. It looks a lot harder. I bet you it's a lot harder than it looks even.
As Rick Messer is going to go through the tennis balls. He knocked a few of those down, so he's going to have a couple of 1 second penalties And what it takes here, Martin, is from what I've seen already, is just unbelievable balance. And you have to pay attention to the course as well. You have a lot of times where you're going forward, a lot of times where you're going backwards too. And having to go through steps in a chair is a little bit difficult.
Absolutely. Can't hit the cones right, that's a penalty. You have to get across all those boards.
And I would have trouble walking on that. I'm a clumsy individual. I don't think I would do that very well.
I mean, just the balance these guys show in a wheelchair is amazing. To keep the front wheels all off the ground almost all the way across the whole obstacle.
Let's promote you a little bit here. I mean, you have qualifying tomorrow, correct?
Yeah, we qualify Saturday. We're racing Pocono International this weekend, so we'll be in Pocono, which is not too far from here. And looking forward to it. We ran the top 10 there last time with our Napa Toyota, and always fun to go to Pocono. It's sort of close to home to me. For me, I grew up only 2 or 3 hours from there over in New Jersey, so it's always fun to come back to Pocono.
And what about Pocono as a track? It's a little bit different, a little bit longer, and has that only 3 turns really in it.
It's a very tricky old racetrack. There's 3 turns. They call it the Tricky Triangle because all 3 turns are completely different. Right. Most places we go, they don't have that many challenges in as far as the corners being so much different. The amounts of banking are different, the radius is different, the width of the track's different. The track's very old, so it's got a lot of bumps in it. So the bumps are different in each corner. It's very, very challenging, very difficult to get those cars to go around that track fast.
Now you guys are athletes too, and so are these the wheelchair veterans. If you stuck all the NASCAR drivers in wheelchairs and had them do this course, who do you think would come out on top?
It'd have to be somebody really, really strong and in really good shape because that looks really hard. I definitely know it wouldn't be me.
I gave myself probably until the 2x4s here, and so I probably couldn't go anymore. How far do you think you can get?
I could probably get pretty far, but I just think it'd take me an awful long time. We'd be here all day.
Hey, that's fine though. You can stick around.
We'd be here all day waiting on me.
Tell me a little bit about your work with the PVA and also with Toyota, trying to get out to some of these events and really raise the awareness and show people to get out in the community and things like that.
Yeah, it's this year has been a lot of fun to work with the PVA and the Mission Able program and all that they've been doing. And like I said, this is my first year working with the program, and it's just humbling to come out and see all these veterans, see what they've done. They make the ultimate sacrifice, and they don't get the treatment they deserve when they come home. And so to be able to raise awareness for them and try to get them as much help as we can and support, to make their lives better, it's just a lot of fun. It's a great opportunity, and I'm proud to be part of it.
And that's going to put a smile on your face when you see the amount of people here today. The Super G, one of the more popular events here at the National Veterans Wheelchair Games, and everyone just cheering everybody on, trying to push them through. Swimming yesterday had a really great crowd. Even to the people that aren't always having the great time, it's the encouragement to try to get through that personal and self goals too.
Yeah, it is for sure. And not only the amount of people here, but just how into it they are. They're really into it and really supporting these guys and cheering them on. And I know the noise of the crowd's making them all go faster.
And it is Rick Messer out there now. Still not as good as a time as Samuel Hudson has had, but he is still making very good time here on the course, going over the mattress. I think a mad scientist might have created this course. I don't think I could do this in my sleep at any time in my life. Could I create something like this? Having chairs go over mattresses, there's sand and rock gravel over there, just unbelievable.
Very creative course, for sure. All kinds of different challenges for these guys to face.
If this was a NASCAR track, which NASCAR track would you compare it to?
This would be like Pocono.
Like Pocono.
Yep.
And this is something a lot of competitors have had trouble today with the ladders. As Mike was telling me, the thicker the tire, the better here in this situation. But just an absolute difficult. I believe those are 2x4s there. Really difficult to try and get up and over those.
It looks really difficult. If you look, the front wheels and the back wheels sit down in the holes at the same time. So the guys are having to balance their front wheels off the ground and try to push over that big 2x4 standing on end.
Rick's still having a little bit of trouble here trying to get through that. We saw Michael Thomas have a little bit of trouble going through it the first time too. And the key definitely is to try to get the way he is. He doesn't want to get horizontal, because if he does get horizontal, then that's going to create a lot of hectic problems with them. I'm sure that you probably heard today Carl Edwards got a new contract with Roush. That's a pretty good thing for Roush Racing.
It is. It's a good thing for them. They got it done. It's contract things are just a pain. It's one of those deals where you wish you never had to worry about it, but it's pretty distracting for your race team and for your driver. You'll be talking to other teams and trying to figure out what he's going to do. Meanwhile, you have the team working on the cars, and they're wondering, is this guy going to drive our car next year? So it's a tough time for everyone, and I'm sure he's glad he got it done and over with.
Have you gone anything like that? Gone through two separate teams?
Yeah, my last contract deal when I went from Earnhardt Ganassi over to Michael Waltrip Racing, where I'm at now, it was kind of the same situation. It's midway through the year, and people are asking you what you're doing, and you're not